What if I told you there are states in America where retirees legally pay $0 in property tax? Not reduced, not discounted, zero. Now, most people assume property taxes are just part of home ownership. You pay your mortgage, you pay your insurance, you pay your property taxes. That is the deal. That is what your parents did. That is what everyone does. But here is what nobody tells you. There are exemptions written into state constitutions that can eliminate your property tax bill entirely. These are not loopholes. These are not gray areas. These are programs signed by governors, administered by county assessors, and available to anyone who meets the requirements. The problem is nobody explains them. Nobody walks you through the paperwork. So every year, millions of retirees write checks for taxes they do not legally owe. I have spent weeks researching government databases, county assessor websites, state revenue departments, and local news archives to find the 10 states with the most powerful property tax breaks for retirees. I'm going to show you exactly how each one works, who qualifies, and what the real savings look like on the ground. Now, before we dive in, if you find this helpful, tap that subscribe button. You will not want to miss what is coming next. Let us start with number 10. Oklahoma is not a state most retirees have on their radar. But if you have watched your property tax bill climb every year while your Social Security check stays flat, you need to hear this. Oklahoma offers the Senior Valuation Freeze. Here is how it works. If you are 65 or older and your household income falls below the HUD median for your county, you can lock in your home's assessed value permanently. Think about what that means. Your neighbor's identical home gets reassessed every few years. Theirs goes up. Yours stays frozen at 2024 levels forever. The income limits vary by county. In Oklahoma County for 2025, the cutoff is $89,500. In Tulsa, it is $86,600. In rural counties like Comanche, it is $71,200. Now, here is the detail that matters. This freezes your assessed value, not your millage rate. Local governments can still adjust rates, but in a market where home values jumped 30% in 5 years, locking that base number saves real money. A woman named Dorothy in Norman locked her assessment in 2015. 10 years later, her neighbors are paying taxes on homes assessed 60% higher. Dorothy pays what she paid a decade ago. Same street, same square footage, different bills. This matters because Oklahoma is proof you do not need a flashy program to save money. Sometimes you just need a freeze that actually sticks. Now, that alone would be worth the move for some people, but the next state takes it even further. Number 9. Hawaii. Most people hear Hawaii and think expensive paradise. And yes, the median home price is over $860,000. But here's what most people miss entirely. Hawaii has the lowest property tax rate in America, not one of the lowest. The lowest. The effective rate is just 0.29%. The national average is over 1%. That is a massive gap. But Hawaii does something else for seniors. If you are 65 or older, your home exemption jumps to $160,000. In Maui and on the Big Island, it climbs to $300,000. And here's what makes Hawaii genuinely different. The exemption grows as you age. At age 60, you get $85,000 off. At age 65, it is $90,000. At age 70, $105,000. By age 80, you are looking at $125,000 knocked off your assessed value before they even calculate your taxes. Picture a retired teacher named Margaret in Honolulu. She owns a modest condo worth $900,000. In New Jersey, that same value would cost her over $12,000 in property taxes. Margaret pays $2,100. The downside is obvious. You need to afford Hawaii in the first place. Groceries cost double. Healthcare is limited on outer islands. But if you can get in, the tax math works in your favor every single year. Now Hawaii rewards you for aging. But the next state rewards you for staying put. Number 8. Florida. Florida is famous for retirees, but most people only know half the story. They know about the sunshine and the beaches. They do not know about the stacking exemptions. Every Florida homeowner gets a $50,000 homestead exemption. But if you are 65 or older and your household income is below $37,694, you qualify for an additional $50,000 senior exemption. That is $100,000 off your assessed value before your first tax dollar is calculated. But here is where Florida gets interesting. If you have lived in your home for 25 years or more, and your home is valued under $250,000, you may qualify for a full exemption. 100%. Zero property taxes. A widow named Eleanor in Jacksonville bought her home in 1995 for $62,000. She raised her kids there. She retired there. 3 years ago, she qualified for the long-term senior exemption. She has not written a property tax check since. Florida also caps your annual assessment increase at 3% through Save Our Homes. So even when the housing market explodes and your neighbors see their assessments jump 15%, yours creeps up slowly. The catch is the income limit is strict, and the 25-year residency takes patience. But if you are planning ahead, Florida rewards loyalty like no other state. Now Florida makes you wait. But the next state pays you while you wait. Number 7, Alaska. In certain parts of Alaska, seniors over 65 do not just get a tax break. They get a complete pass, plus a check in the mail. Alaska exempts the first $150,000 of assessed value for homeowners 65 and older. In rural boroughs where homes are modest, that exemption covers the entire value. Zero property tax owed. Alaska also has another trick. Several boroughs do not levy property tax at all. Then there is the permanent fund dividend. Every resident who lives in Alaska for a full calendar year receives a check. In 2024, that check was $1,702. Think about that. The state is not just reducing your taxes, it is writing you a check to live there. A retired fisherman named Earl on the Kenai Peninsula has not paid property tax in 8 years. His cabin is valued at $140,000. The exemption covers it completely. Combined with his dividend check, he calls it getting paid to retire. Now, the downsides are real. Winters in Fairbanks hit 40 below. Groceries in remote areas cost 3 times mainland prices. Healthcare access is limited. But for the adventurous retiree who can handle isolation and cold, Alaska is hard to beat financially. Alaska gives you a check. The next state freezes your bill in time. Number 6, Louisiana. Louisiana has something most states do not offer: an assessment freeze that locks in your home's value forever. Not for a year, not until you renovate. Forever. The standard homestead exemption already covers the first $75,000 of market value. But if you are 65 or older and your adjusted gross income is under $100,000, you qualify for what they call the Special Assessment Level Freeze. Here's how it works. The year you turn 65 and apply, your home's assessed value gets photographed in time. It does not matter if property values in your neighborhood double over the next 15 years. Your assessment stays frozen at the number it was the year you qualified. A couple named Robert and Marie in Baton Rouge locked in their $85,000 assessed value in 2010. Their neighbor across the fence owns an identical home. Same builder, same floor plan. That neighbor now pays taxes on an assessment of $180,000. Robert and Marie pay what they paid 15 years ago. Louisiana voters recently approved raising the income limit to $150,000. That opens the freeze to even more retirees starting in 2026. The only catch is it freezes value, not millage rates. Local tax rates can shift. But in a rising market, that frozen assessment becomes more valuable every single year. Louisiana lets you freeze time. But the next state might let you skip taxes entirely. Number 5. South Carolina. South Carolina's homestead exemption is already generous. Legislators are trying to make it extraordinary. Currently, if you are 65 or older, totally disabled, or legally blind, the first $50,000 of your home's fair market value is completely exempt from property taxes. No income test, no complicated paperwork, just age and residency. Here is what is happening right now. Bill 3127 proposes raising that exemption to $100,000. Bill 3424 goes even further, proposing an exemption of up to $1 million. If either passes, most seniors in South Carolina would pay close to nothing. A retiree named Patricia in Charleston owns a $200,000 home. She currently saves about $500 annually. If the $100,000 exemption becomes law, her savings would more than double. If the $1 million bill becomes law, she would owe essentially nothing. South Carolina also offers a 4% assessment ratio for owner-occupied homes, compared to 6% for others. That lower ratio means you pay taxes on a smaller portion of your home's value from the start. The application deadline is July 15th each year. You must have been a South Carolina resident for 1 full year prior. South Carolina rewards you just for being 65. But the next state might reward you even more for having a modest home. Number 4. Mississippi. Mississippi has one of the most overlooked senior tax breaks in America. For modest homes, it can mean paying absolutely nothing. If you are 65 or older, the first $75,000 of your home's true value is exempt from property taxes. In Mississippi's system, that translates to $7,500 of assessed value completely wiped off your bill. But here is what makes Mississippi genuinely different. After your first year, that exemption can actually grow to cover future increases in your home's value. So if your home appreciates, your exemption expands to match it. For homes valued under $75,000, this means zero property tax. Period. And Mississippi has the lowest median home price in the country at around $244,000. Finding a home under that $75,000 threshold is absolutely possible. A retiree named Gladys in Gulfport bought her home for $68,000 in 2018. She applied for the senior exemption that same year. She has not paid property tax since. Her exemption covers the full assessed value. The growth provision prevents any future increase from triggering a bill. The downside is you must apply between January 1st and April 1st. Miss that window and you wait a full year. Rural areas have limited amenities, but for retirees stretching every dollar, Mississippi delivers quietly and consistently. Mississippi covers modest homes, but the next state can eliminate your biggest tax entirely. Number 3. Georgia. Georgia is a patchwork of property tax relief. In some counties, seniors pay nothing for school taxes. In others, barely anything at all. The key is knowing which county to choose. At the state level, Georgia offers a $4,000 exemption for residents 65 and older with income under $10,000, excluding Social Security. That alone helps. But the real savings happen at the county level. Gwinnett County offers what they call the L5A exemption. If you are 65 or older and your Georgia taxable income is under $124,648, you qualify for a 100% exemption from school taxes. Think about what that means. School taxes typically make up 60 to 70% of your total property tax bill. Eliminate those, and your bill drops by more than half. Fulton County offers a $50,000 exemption for seniors with no income requirement at all. Carroll County gives a full school tax exemption plus an $8,000 county exemption. Cobb County offers a complete school tax exemption starting at age 62. A woman named Brenda in Gwinnett County earns $50,000 from Social Security. She pays zero school taxes on her $350,000 home. Her friend Sandra lives across the county line in DeKalb. Same income, same home value. Sandra pays over $3,000. In Georgia, your county matters as much as your age. Pick the right one and your biggest tax disappears. Georgia can eliminate school taxes, but the next state might eliminate them for 60% of all seniors. Number 2. Texas. Texas is about to do something that could eliminate school property taxes for the majority of seniors in the state, and it is on the ballot this November. Currently, Texas offers a combined homestead exemption of $110,000 for residents 65 and older. That is significant. But Senate Bill 23 and Senate Joint Resolution 85 would increase that exemption to $200,000. If voters approve it in November 2025, the Houston Chronicle estimates over 60% of Texas seniors would owe zero school taxes, not reduced. Zero. But Texas already has something powerful in place: the school tax freeze. The year you turn 65, whatever you pay in school taxes becomes your permanent ceiling. It does not matter if rates go up. It does not matter if assessments climb. Your school tax bill is locked at that number forever. And here is the part that surprises people. If you move within Texas, that freeze transfers with you. The ratio of your frozen taxes to your old home's value carries to your new home. A grandmother named Rosa in San Antonio turned 65 in 2023. Her school tax was $2,100 that year. Her neighbors now pay $2,800. Rosa will never pay more than $2,100 unless she adds a room or a pool. The catch is the $200,000 exemption must pass the November ballot. But even without it, the existing freeze is one of the most powerful tools for seniors in America. Texas is betting big on seniors, but one state has already gone all the way. Number 1, Alabama. Alabama is the only state in the United States where seniors over 65 are completely exempt from state property tax. No income limit, no exceptions, no complicated application, just age. If you are 65 or older and you own and occupy your home, you pay zero state property taxes. That is automatic. That is law. That is Alabama. But here is where it gets even better. Alabama offers what they call the H3 exemption. If you are 65 or older and your federal taxable income is $12,000 or less, you qualify for a total exemption from all property taxes, state, county, school, municipal, everything. In Mobile County, H3 recipients do not receive a tax bill at all. They receive a renewal form instead. Sign it, mail it back, pay nothing. A widow named Betty in Mobile lives on Social Security alone. Her federal taxable income is under $12,000. She has not received a property tax bill in 7 years. Every October, she gets a form in the mail. She signs it. She sends it back. That is the entire process. $0 owed. Even seniors with higher incomes benefit. The H4 exemption covers anyone 65 or older regardless of income. You still pay no state property tax. You still get reductions on county taxes. And Jefferson County recently passed a special senior exemption that freezes your assessed value with no income test at all. Alabama is not just senior friendly. For qualifying retirees, it is the closest thing to property tax paradise in the United States. So there you have it. 10 states, 10 different approaches. 10 paths to keeping more of your money in retirement. Some freeze your value. Some freeze your bill. Some eliminate taxes entirely. The common thread is that every single one of these programs exists right now. They are funded. They are legal. They are waiting for you to apply. The money is on the table. It is yours if you file the paperwork. If you like this video, please subscribe. And make sure to watch the next video appearing on the screen.